See this? This here is a capo. Now some guitar players turn their nose up at capos. They think they're for beginners who only know open chords. But I think this here, this capo, I think it's one of the most incredible tools for guitar players. And in this video, I hope not only to tell you why, but to demonstrate and even give you a guitar tutorial. So if you're a guitar player, then go and get your guitar. Maybe we can learn something. If you're not a guitar player, then, I don't know, just enjoy the video. So some of you might be thinking, what on earth is a capo? What's he talking about? What's that weird contraption he keeps showing up? A capo is a guitarist's tool. I think it can also be used on any string instrument that has a kind of fretboard. Banjo, ukulele, mandolin. Essentially, you use the capo to go up and down the fretboard and move what's called open position. So if you put the capo on the 3rd fret, suddenly all the notes of the 3rd fret of each string become the open position. You can see why it's favourable among guitar players that like to use open chords, myself included. But this has nothing to do with your actual ability. It's not the only way you use a capo, not at all. Honestly, who put that there? Now this isn't just any capo. This is a G7th capo. They're like the Gibson guitar equivalent in the capo world. What's really special about this particular G7th capo? How did that get on there? Wow, it must be meant for me. It's noticeably more quiet here in Worthing today, and I think it's got something to do with the fact that Costa Coffee is closed. Because usually there's a big crowd of people gathered outside, drinking, sipping on hot drinks. We'll have to see if that affects the busking anyway. Now I don't say that G7th are the best capo for any reason, other than it's the truth. I was actually at an open mic night not too long ago when the guitarist that was playing announced that he'd forgotten his capo and he needed to borrow one if anyone had a spare. A fellow musician that's in the crowd hands the guitar player a G7th capo, and the guitarist exclaims, "Oh dang, you've handed me one of those fancy capos. These are supposed to be really good." That's all the evidence you need, I think. A random guitarist at an open mic night, that's a good word to take as truth. In all seriousness, they are really nice capos, really well made. They have this sort of clamp technology, unlike other types of capos where you have like a sort of peg mechanism. These are just a simple kind of squeeze and they stick to your guitar. So, and my one's extra special because it says ARP on it, which is an option if you buy a G7th capo. You can have a print on it. So this video is going to be a back and forth between me here and me at home. Me at home is going to be doing all the guitar tutorials. So let's get on with the first one. Now this is an all levels tutorial, so you don't even need to be that advanced. Don't worry if you're only just picking up a guitar for the first time. Have a go, see what happens. Okay, good day to you all. Welcome to the guitar tutorial portion of this video. There will be 3 guitar tutorials over the course of the video you're watching. In order to take part in them, if you wish to do so, you will need a 6-string guitar, acoustic or electric. I am tuned a half step down. So E flat, A flat, D flat, G flat, B flat, and E flat. You don't have to do this if you don't want to, but you will just need to know that wherever I put my capo, just put it 1 fret down from where I put it, and then we'll be in the same key. I'm going to apply my capo to the 4th fret for the sake of these tutorials. By the way, when you're putting it on a capo, technically speaking, you're supposed to slide the capo up. So it's just about to touch the actual fret, like sort of piece of metal, closest to you. And then you're listening out for each string to be ringing clear with no rattling, nothing impinging your sound. Okay, cool. Tutorial part 1. This is the easiest of the 3, and one I suspect that anyone that can kind of get their way through some guitar chords can take part in. So we are going to learn a 4-chord pattern, 4-chord trick, 4 chords from the truth. We are learning it here in 4th position, but remember with a capo, this means it can be moved anywhere. Anywhere you wish to put the capo, you'll be able to play these 4 chords. So we are going to learn an E sus, a B sus, a C sharp sus, and an A sus. The note names I call the chords, I'm referring to the shape rather than the actual chords I'm playing. It's as if the shape is down here in open position and we're in standard tuning. I always do this to make things easy. Sus stands for suspended. I've gone through this before, but suspended chord is neither major or minor. It suspends in the middle of the 2. It's neither major nor minor, and it sounds like it needs to go to one of those 2. But if you just continue playing sus chords, it's like it never really quite resolves. And it gives for this feeling of like longing to go somewhere. And I think that can add to the sort of a motive of any song. This particular chord pattern, so E sus, B sus, C sharp sus, and A sus, is a 1, 5, 6, 4 chord pattern. If you look up the 1, 5, 6, 4 chord pattern, you'll know that this makes up thousands upon thousands of pop songs. You can essentially play any pop song under the sun because almost all pop songs are going to be a combination of these 4 chords. And there's even Wikipedia pages of lists of the songs that use these particular chord patterns. So you should be able to apply this chord pattern across the board. So first chord you're going to learn is E sus. This is an open E string, 2nd fret A string, 2nd fret D string, 4th fret G string, and then open B and E. Like so. I bar the 2nd fret A and the 2nd fret D string with my first finger, and I play the 4th fret G string with my little finger. That's how I like to play this chord. Second chord is this B sus shape. We've got 2nd fret A string. You're leaving the bottom E string out of the equation. No need to play that. So 2nd fret A string, 4th fret D string, 4th fret G string, and then again open B and E, top strings. So it's like a power chord shape, only you're playing the top 2 strings with it. For the C sharp sus, all you're going to do is take the exact shape you've just done on the B sus and slide it up 2 frets to the 4th fret. So 4th fret A string, 6th fret D string, 6th fret G string, and then the B and E open. Again, you're leaving the bottom E out of the equation. And I'm playing this like a power chord, so it's first finger on that A string, middle finger's not doing anything, it's chilling, and then ring finger and little finger are playing the 6th frets on the D and the G string. And then finally the A sus, A string open, again leave the bottom E out of the equation, A string open, 2nd fret D string, and 4th fret G string, and then the bottom 2 again open, B and E string open. I tend to play this with my first finger on the D string and my little finger on that G string, but you could use your ring finger if you wanted to. So put them together: E sus, B sus, C sharp sus, A sus. So the foundation to so many songs, especially like pop punk and punk rock songs, the songs I grew up on. So what I'm going to teach you in the next lesson is the scale that you need to know in order to start embellishing these chords, to make them more interesting.
She said, "We're gonna get out of here." I'd be clapping if I had a hand free.
Thank you. I appreciate it. So you'll notice that the chord pattern we've gone through is one I use a lot. I just really like using the suspended chords. They're a feature in a lot of like the punk rock songs that I grew up listening to as well. You're hearing like pop punk and punk rock, they always tend to gear towards the suspended sound rather than those major and minor rich sounding chords.
She can see exactly what I mean. She said, tell me which way to the beach, yeah. I need something sweet to sink my teeth into, baby. Love goes faster than anything, so I'll ride the wave or misbehave or jump into the sea, yeah. Tell me which way to the beach.
I think if you're a guitarist that turns your nose up at capos, then you're essentially turning your nose up at like any other guitar tool, right? Whether that's a pedal, a slide, picks, fingerstyle, you name it, loops, loopers. This whole guitar world is full of these incredible tools, and you know, you shouldn't be afraid of using them. None of them undermine your playing, and they all require some form of skill in order to be able to use them and use them well.
Gotta say that she agrees. She can see exactly what I mean. She said, tell me which way to reach it.
There'll be tools that you prefer to use, there'll be tools that you don't like to use, there'll be tools that you're not interested in using. But I think the capo is one that is quite a general one. It's one that everyone can use, regardless of your style, regardless of like what you're trying to do with the guitar. Even better if it has ARP written on it.
To the beach. Now there's nowhere else to go. They went and closed all the country's borders. Lockdown gonna get us down. Then she turned to me like, seriously, man, I need to get away. Now she said.
So far we've got this pretty cool use of just sort of playing these suspended chords. So now it's to add on to that, level it up. Guitar tutorial part 2 incoming. Okay, welcome to part 2 of the tutorial, where we're gonna do a little scale. Something that all the guitar tutors I've ever had always emphasized was learn your freaking scales. Not only is it an ingenious way to get those fingers moving as individuals, not just in shapes, but you know, all over the fretboard, it also allows you to be a little clever with your playing. The thing with scales is you don't actually need to know the technical side of them. You just really ought to know the shapes, because once you kind of get the shapes, you can, a bit like the capo, move them anywhere on the guitar. But with the use of the capo and the chords we've just learned, all we really need to do is learn one particular scale, one particular shape, and then we can use the notes of that scale to start being a little clever. So when you're coming to play your songs, and as I said, those 4 chords, you can play thousands of songs with them. You don't have to just play the chords, you can add a little flamboyance. Okay, so here's the scale. This is technically a major scale. The key here isn't to memorize the scale, it isn't to get that perfect in your head, more so to memorize the notes and the positions your fingers are going in, because these are the notes we can then use within the chord progression. Okay, so I'll go through the notes for each string. So your first note is an open E string. Then you've got 2nd fret E string and 4th fret E string. For this scale, we're not going to go above this 4th fret, right? So 4th counting from the capo as 0. So this 4th fret. What I suggest you do is assign the 1st fret to the 1st finger, the 2nd fret to the 2nd finger, 3rd fret to your 3rd finger, and the 4th fret to your little finger. So that way, any note that comes up on the 1st fret, that's your 1st finger's job. 2nd fret, it's your 2nd finger's job. 3rd fret, 3rd finger's job. 4th fret, this little guy. Alright, so we've got open E. 2nd fret E string, which you're going to play with your 2nd finger, hopefully. And then 4th fret E string. Easy. For the A strings notes, it's exactly the same as you just did. 0, 2, 4. And again, with your 2nd finger and 4th finger. So you've got E string, 0, 2, 4. A string, 0, 2, 4. Easy. Then it gets a little different. For the D string, you're going to play the 1st fret, 2nd fret, and 4th fret. So 1, 2, 4. So no open D. And then for the G string, you're going to do exactly the same. 1st fret, 2nd fret, 4th fret. So if we add that together, E string 0, 2, 4, A string 0, 2, 4, D string 1, 2, 4, G string 1, 2, 4. For the B string, you're just going to play fret 2 and 4. And then for the E string, funnily enough, it's exactly the same as the other E string, 0, 2, 4. So that's the whole scale going up, ascending. Cool. And they're all the notes you really need, but for the sake of this being a tutorial, and I'm trying to extend your knowledge and trying to stretch you further, push you harder than you would go left to your own devices, we are going to try and do the scale descending. And to do it descending, we're going to find the same notes but in slightly different positions for some of the strings. So descending, 4, 2 on the E string. This is the high E string, by the way, because we're descending. And instead of playing the open E on the way back down, we're going to move to the 5th fret. Ooh, we're going to the 5th on the B string, which means I slide my hand up, so the little finger's going to play this. And then we've got the 4th fret, B string, which we're going to play with my 3rd finger, 2nd fret B string, and then we're going to move to an open B string. And that gives us time to slide the hand back down so the frets are back in their assigned fret. 1st fret with the 1st finger, 2nd fret, 2nd finger, you get the idea. So we've got, so from the top, descending, 4th fret E, 2nd fret E, 5th fret B, 4th fret B, 2nd fret B, open B, and then we're just going to go 2, 1 on the G string, and then it's exactly the same as it was on the way back all the way down. So 4th fret D, 2nd fret D, 1st fret D, and then 4th fret A, 2nd fret A, open A, 4th fret E, 2nd fret E, open. So the whole thing. And that is an E major scale shape, played on the 4th fret with a capo. And with that, in the 3rd part of the tutorial, we're going to cross that scale over with the chords to make some funky embellishments to change up the chord pattern. Alright, a little bit more busking before we go to tutorial part.
I'm a moment of clarity.
Now, capos are renowned in the songwriting world. It's probably the most common use for capos is for singer-songwriters. Typically, when you write a song, you are focusing on writing a melody first and foremost. The most important thing to most songs is the melody and then the lyrics. And for me personally, I tend to write songs around a chord progression, and I'll focus all in on the melody, all in on the lyrics, and then I'll try and embellish the chord progression, maybe add in some riffs from there. So the capo is a great tool in that kind of way that I was mentioning earlier about you can kind of use it just to play the open chords wherever you need to play them, in whatever key you need to sing. So the capo means you can move it around in a way that suits your vocals, your vocal range. It means you can kind of put all your energy and thought and creative process into that melody, into those lyrics, and then you can think about chords and riffs and, you know, what you're going to do to make it sound a bit more interesting later on down the line.
Excuses for why I won't succeed, and everyone has their own idea of what it is I need. But I'm more than happy singing in the street. No, I don't really care who they want me to be. No, the difference between you and me.
I don't really know where the stigma for using a capo comes from. I wasn't really aware of it until I read a few YouTube comments on my videos where people were like, why are you using a capo all the time? Especially because renowned guitarists like Keith Richards, Mark Knopfler, Gabriella Quintero, there's videos and there's songs where they're all using capos, all like legends in the guitar game. So good enough for them, good enough for me. Only their capo doesn't say ARP on it, does it? I wonder if Keith Richards' capo says Keith on it.
Well, I need to get by, yeah. only difference between you and me is you gave up, but I won't know.
Right, I guess it's time for tutorial number 3. This is the third and final. So we're going to build on what we've already learned on the previous 2 in this video. Leave me a comment if you are actually trying to do the guitar tutorial. It's good to know. The last time I added a guitar tutorial into one of these videos, there was a lot of comments to say that you wanted it again. So I thought this would be a perfect time with my brand shiny new Capo. Woo! The final boss. Tutorial part 3. Like I said in the second part of the tutorial, it's less about knowing the scale and more about knowing where those notes are for each string. Because what we can do, every time we play a chord, we can add some of those notes from that scale to add in some kind of melodic part. So we're not just strumming straight chords all the time. If you're a super beginner, then take it really slow. It's gonna be fiddly in the beginning. The point here is to demonstrate how you can inject notes from the scale into the chord pattern. And then you can use your Capo, the greatest tool for guitar players, to then do this anywhere on the fretboard. The benefit of the Capo being that you only have to learn to do this in one position in order to be able to do it anywhere, which then means you can do it for any song. We'll take this bar by bar. Easy work. So our first bar, we're going to utilize the E sus we learned earlier. And that's the first bit, as you can see on the tab. And then we're going to do this funky embellishment. So it's a, is what we're listening for. So we've got the chord open. Then we're going to play the 4th fret G string with the 2 B and G strings open. We then play the 2nd fret G string with the 2 top strings open. Then we do the same but with the 1st fret on the G string. And then we go back to the 2nd, and then we slide up to the 4th. Because my little finger is already on that 4th fret from the chord, I use my little finger to play that 4th fret with the 2 top strings. Then I go down to my 2nd finger for the 2nd fret. Then you guessed it, I use my 1st finger for the 1st fret. Then the 2nd finger for the 2nd fret again. And then to go back up to the 4th, I slide the 2nd finger up. And then in the progression, you'll notice that I've asked you to repeat the bar. So we do it twice. Okay, 2nd bar. So we've got this B sus. And all we're going to do here, we take our little finger off that G string, add it to the 4th fret B string, and play that along with an open E string. Ooh, the devil's interval. To make it not so devilish, we slide the little finger up to the 5th fret. Ah, that's better. As we play that 4th fret. And then we play the 2 B and E string together open. So we've got a kind of thing going on. So add the chord in. And then again, I've asked you to repeat the bar. So it's a... Cool, eh? 3rd bar. So we've got this C sharp sus. Now this is a cool little riff. So we play that C sharp sus. Then we get the middle finger, who's been chilling, on the 5th fret of that B string. We play that along with that open E string. Then we go down to the 4th fret and we're going to use the 1st finger. Oh, that devil's interval again. And then we play the 2 B and the E open. And then we hit it with a nice major 3rd interval. And that's the 4th fret E string, top E. And then the 5th fret B string again. Then all you do is take off your 1st finger and play again 5th fret B string and open E. So the whole thing is... We wouldn't be able to do that if we didn't have the capo here, because we're utilising those open strings. So the whole thing, or you can leave the chord ringing if you're feeling really special. And again, as I just demonstrated, you repeat that over twice. Woo! Have you made the last bar even harder? Have you, Ben? Nah, not quite. So last bar we have our A sus chord. We kind of do a reference to what we did in the first bar. 4th fret, G with the 2 B and E open. 2nd fret with the B and E open. 1st fret G with the B and E open. And then we do a rundown of the scale as we learnt it. So 4th fret D string, 2nd fret D string, 1st fret D string, 4th fret A, 2nd fret A, open A, 4th fret bottom E, but then we open the A again, and this is simply so the rhythm carries through if we were going to play this whole chord pattern in a loop, and then just a 4th fret E and a 2nd fret E, and that will lead us back into a E chord if we should play it. So that whole last bar sounds like this. That's how you're going to play it. And as I said, it leads us back into the start of the chord progression should we want to do that. And we don't need to repeat this last bar twice because it actually lasts for 2 bars. It's 2 bars long. So it fits the chord progression nicely. Let's play it all together. 2, 3, 4. Something like that. As I said, it doesn't need to just be this combination. You will see me when I'm playing songs out in the street, at gigs, wherever, even listening to my album. I do this in many different combinations. But I do it, and I do it a lot. Work on it. Don't give up. Persist. At worst, you'll just end up coming up with your own versions. They might be way more advanced, way more technical. They might be way more simple. The point here is to get you thinking about how you can make your guitar parts more interesting with the use of an ingenious tool like a capo. As I said, we can now take what we've just learned and do it anywhere. It doesn't always have to be really fast either. And that's it. That's your guitar tutorials done for this week. Let me know in the comments if you would like more guitar tutorials, more guitar tutorial videos. I know that the last one was very popular, so hopefully this one is too. Thank you so much. Not a little bad debut for the old G7th. The G7th ARP custom. It's good. I'm stoked on it. These things keep happening. Rad people keep coming up to me in both real life and online and just offering the nicest gestures. And my heart is full of compassion, kindness and love for all of it. Even all you lot watching these videos. Even if you're here for the first time, just happen to stumble upon it, or you're here for the, I don't know, 100th video you've watched. It's rad. It's honestly rad. Right, got to pack up. Woo! Well, there you go. A day in Worthing with ARP and some guitar tutorials. All about using a capo. What an incredible tool. I think it's really important that you never turn your nose up on something that can aid you in a way that means it's maybe slightly less effort. Sure, trying to play every single song without a capo, you could do that. Bar chords are a completely different thing to playing with a capo. And I'm not saying that it's any less or more skilled to do either. Both require skill, both can be done at an early stage in your guitar journey. It's completely up to you how you use it, and know that there is always more to learn. One of the famous guitar players said that. It might have even been Mark Knopfler. You can never stop learning this thing. It forever evolves. Even if you're at the very top of the game, there's still more to do. I'm sure when Jimi Hendrix started making that guitar talk, everyone was like, what is he doing? He discovered a new way. Innovation. It's at your fingertips if you want it to be. That was £101 and 9p here in Worthing, which I'm very stoked on. Having had 2 and a bit weeks off just now, it reminded me today how busking really does connect you with the wider world. And because it connects you through music, it makes you realise how much connection music provides. Right, I'm going to hand you to Future Me, who is going to talk about where we're at with this pre-order on the album, because we've had a fair few pre-orders come in. Over to Future Me. Okay, for those that don't know, I have announced my album pre-orders. I did it last week's video. 10 tracks. You can pre-order the album now on my website, augustradioproject.com/shop. There is a digital download pre-order option, or there's the CD option. The CD option comes with the digital download. I'm doing this a little differently to the trodden path, in that there is no release date for this pre-order. It is simply coming out as soon as I hit 100. And when I say coming out, I mean coming to you who's pre-ordered it. It won't be up online for a while. I think I'm gonna hold out till at least the end of the year to do anything like that. So this is the only way you can get it. The cool news is we've already hit 25. We hit 25 today. And today is Saturday. This video will come out on Monday, so in 2 days' time. So hopefully a few more have come in the meantime. If you're gonna do anything to support me, then I really, really would appreciate you doing this. Obviously, if you don't wanna part with money, that's fine. Give this video a thumbs up. Hit subscribe if you're new around here. Maybe turn the notifications on. You can leave a super thanks as an online donation, or you could sign up to my Patreon, but I'd really rather encourage you to pre-order the album. If you do want to sign up to the Patreon though, there will be some exclusives for you, anyone that is a member of Patreon. You're going to get the album earlier than everyone else. Thank you for watching this video. Honestly, let me know if you enjoyed the guitar tutorial portion. Let me know if you want more of them. I do quite enjoy doing them. My name's August Radio Project. I make videos that come out every Monday. Until the next one, you can watch the one that comes up on the screen. And I'll see you next week. Peace, love, and happiness.